Alright, so I just got finished watching the Tyra Banks Show today. And what's the day today? Monday, what is it, November the 29th? The 30th? Anyway, I have no idea if this episode is brand new. I'm assuming it is. But if it is an old episode and if it is a rerun, forgive me for that. But I just finished watching a Tyra Banks episode where she talks about race. And the topic was about different races. And basically, they talked about four different, I guess, classes that could be, considered, the four major ethnic groups in America. Now, they talked about stereotypes, in the black stereotypes, Asian stereotypes, white stereotypes, and Latino stereotypes. And they had like four guests on there to quote-unquote represent each quote-unquote race. I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good program because it did bring some real issues to the table, and it made people discuss, basically certain stereotypes and how ridiculous some of these stereotypes are. But I do have a lot of criticisms too, particularly because of the Asian remarks and the Asian, There was, I noticed that there was ignorance in the show itself, though, in representation of the Asians. There was false representation, meaning that they categorized different people in the particular, races or whatever, as if every single race is like the exact same, as if all the Asians are the same, as if all Latinos are the same, as if all the blacks are the same, as if all white people are the same, you know what I'm saying, like, people are just put in their skin color / language, / their... It's like this false perceived notion of race in itself. First of all, I don't think there is no real definition of race. There is no real race definition. There's no such thing as different races when it comes to genetics, when it comes to biology. Every fucking person on the planet is essentially, we're all part of the same fucking race. We're all part of the human race. That's just one fucking race. We're all the same fucking species. That's why I can fuck a black chick, I can fuck a white chick, I can fuck an Asian chick, I can fuck a Latina chick, and have a normal fucking, a normal healthy baby with that fucking girl. And I'm Asian, I'm Filipino, I'm saying, I'm from the Philippines. But I did find something ignorant about the representation of some of these people. Like, there was a lot of limitation to the actual content of the ethnic representation. They had an Asian guy, Dat Fan, who's a comedian, and I think he's Vietnamese. Now, Dat Fan is obviously he doesn't represent every single Asian out there. Now, when people think of Asian, they instantly assume, okay, slanted eyes, yellow skin, that fucking Chinese, that Asiatic Oriental shit, that Mongoloid shit, as if we're all the fucking same. But in reality, the fucking truth is, we're fucking not. Asians have a huge difference between all of us. I mean, we're all fucking different in culture, in language, in religion. We're all fucking different. I mean, all Asians are the fucking different. We're not all the same. We don't look at each other like, hey, we're all Asians, we're all brothers. Give me a fucking break. Okay, that's like going up to a white guy and assuming that all white people are the fucking same. Like saying a German guy is the same as a Polish guy. Or, a British guy is the same as a fucking French guy. Definitely not. I mean, they might be, categorized as they're both Caucasian. They're both, in that, quote-unquote racial, color, group that, you got the Caucasoids, you got the Negroids, and you got the, the Mongoloids. But that concept is there's still a lot of false, that is a false definition. There's no such thing as, fitting into a particular race, because to have a different race, you must have your own cultural identity, you must have your own nationality, you must have your own language. Now, that would, in a more accurate depiction, if the Tyra Banks Show wanted to do a fucking show about race, they would have included different types of Asians to begin with. For example, if you're going to include Asians, include the Filipinos, include the Vietnamese, include the Chinese, include the Japanese, include the Koreans, who are all different in definition. Okay, I don't see myself as a Chinese guy. I don't fucking see myself as a Japanese guy. I don't see myself as a Korean. So don't fucking give me that, oh, all Asians are the same. No, fuck you. Stay in your fucking place, you ignorant fucking bitch. Alright, I'm not saying Tyra Banks is ignorant. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that there was a lot of ignorance that was still, that was instilled in that show. There was still ignorance within that show itself, within the presentation, how it was presented, how it was organized. You know, people assume that, all Latinos are the same. All Latinos are the same. They all speak Spanish, and they all eat chicharrones. I don't give a fuck. Latinos are different, okay? Puerto Rican will tell you that he is different from a Mexican. And a Cuban will tell you he is different from from somebody from Colombia, alright? So don't fucking give me that, oh, well, all Latinos are the same. No, fuck that shit. Back to the Asian shit. And I love how at the end of the episode, they started bringing out the fucking food from, the supposed stereotypical food from each fucking culture. So for the blacks, they brought out, fried chicken and ribs. For the Latinos, they brought out, like, chicharrones. For the white people, I don't know, I forgot what they brought up for the white people. I think I missed that one. And for the Asians, which was the last one, they this is where the shit got real racist and real ignorant. They put out motherfucking pigeon feet. It was like bird's feet, fried pigeon feet and like pigeon wings. And I was like, what the fuck is that shit? You know what I'm saying? I'm an Asian dude. I'm a Filipino. I have never seen no Filipino. I've lived in Philippines for years and years and years. Alright? And I've never seen nobody. I've seen not a single Asian person ever eat no goddamn pigeon shit. You know what I'm saying? No pigeon feet, no pigeon nothing. The thing with with Asian food is that you can't just categorize every type of food, every, like the Asians don't have a specific fucking food that we eat, okay? Maybe rice, because almost every Asian, including India, okay, because India is part of Asia too. A lot of these Asian countries eat fucking rice. So if you had, if you're gonna go with a stereotypical Asian food, you should have gone with fucking rice. But we don't fucking eat no goddamn pigeons. I've never met no Filipinos that ever ate no fucking pigeon. So don't give me that ignorant fucking bullshit, Tyra. You know better than that. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you is an ignorant motherfucker. Alright, fuck you, Tyra. You little bitch. Alright? And I don't give a fuck, alright? I thought the show was intelligent at first, even though it was a little goofy because people weren't really discussing the differences and people weren't really analyzing the shit. They were really more like, they were partly joking and fucking kidding around and making jokes and all that shit. Being goofy, putting like a humorous spin to it instead of actually discussing and actually breaking down the history and why some of these quote-unquote stereotypes exist to begin with. But that fucking pigeon shit really fucking drove me nuts, man. I mean, that really got me heated, okay? Asians don't fucking eat no goddamn pigeons. Did you see the Asians in the fucking crowd? They was eating the fucking flan. And by the way, there's another thing. You guys brought out, they brought up flan, which is leche flan. It's like this creamy, like, tasty-ass fucking sugary type of, dessert food. And that started that was for the Latino, group, the stereotypical group. But little did you know, maybe you're just too ignorant, but, us Filipinos, we love fucking leche flan. That's part of our culture, you know what I'm saying? That's part of our diet, we love to, my mom, she would cook leche flan on special occasions, on birthdays, on Christmas, you know what I'm saying, Maligayang Pasko, Feliz Navidad, you know what I'm saying? We fucking love leche flan. We love leche flan. That's a Filipino thing too, because that was brought over by the fucking, the Spics, the Spaniards, the European crackers, those white Spics that took over my fucking country, that colonized my country, that raped my women, that killed my people, that took over my land. Alright, so they brought some of that shit over. And we, being a fucking surviving, we're tough. You know what I'm saying? Filipinos, we be tough. You know what I'm saying? We took some of that fucking, Spanish shit, as part of our culture too. You know what I'm saying? We took that, we took it in stride. And we used that leche flan shit. But I was surprised that none of this shit was mentioned. I felt that while, at the same time the show brought some level of attention to some of these negative racial stereotypes. At the same time, though, it's still instilled. It's still kept and maintained a level of ignorance towards the actual racial identities of some of these people, the actual cultural identities. You know, all Asians are not the same, all Latinos are not the same, all black people are not the same. You can't just categorize everybody just because of what they look like, I mean, I have as much of a similarity with a Chinese guy than I have with a Frenchman. You know, a guy from France, a guy from Zimbabwe, a guy from Iran, okay? Because there's a huge difference between our cultures. Different languages, different religion.